Hi, I'm Akira.
Number one Nahar.
Welcome to The Long Take. This week, we're discussing the new Mammootty movie, Kalamkaval, which released in cinemas in like early December, and now it's on Sony Live. Yeah, I'm struggling to like find meaning in this movie, in this 2 hour 20-minute movie. It's probably the most inert detective movie I've ever seen. It's like so slow paced. I was like struggling. I think one movie I could argue that you could play at 2x and it will not change.
It's quite boring. It's almost like a challenge to have feelings about it. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's not like offensive in any way.
It's not. No, it's not like a Mrs. Serial Killer, right?
Yeah, where I mean that's not to say that Mrs. Serial Killer is a better movie because it made us feel something, but
Not at all.
yeah, but this one is. I mean, at least it's like. I mean, in focus, the shots are some of them.
It's like it knows what it like needs to do, but it doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah, also I feel like it has that first movie problem where you know how some people like to show off their camera moves and stuff, especially if you have money and stuff. But like here, obviously the money is kind of a is limited. So what people
Right.
here tend to show off is their smartness, and this movie is like look how smart, look how intricate I can make the plot uh,
Mm.
without realizing that like that's the least interesting thing about
Yep.
stuff like this. No, like the plot
Like they
is
show us probably like 17 versions of the same thing in the
happening.
first
Yeah.
80 minutes. And I'm like, your grand reveal, which they're waiting, right? They're waiting for the interval moment to like reveal that, oh,
Hmm.
wait, he's also the cop.
Hmm.
I'm like, this should have been your first act.
But the more surprising thing is that you do the same. The guy's MO, we see it like not 70 chalo, but we see it like at least 30 times. And I was waiting कि after maybe like the fifth time or the sixth time or maybe the 10th time, you'll be like, chalo, let's flip this on its head a little bit and see कि जो मर रहा है उसका life क्या था, you know?
Yeah.
Like let's look at the person who's dying. Let's not use them as
No interest.
simply a dead body or like a plot device or something. But
Hmm.
no, they do it 30 times and not a single person even thinks to turn the camera the other side, like this.
Yeah, in fact, like the only time they want to do it is they hide lie to us so they can reveal one woman lived.
Yeah, one woman lived. And I mean, that's fine, but she lived because she has to play a role in the plot later, right? Like she didn't live because she's a person who has a life and has made the most of it after being, after surviving this dude.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so the movie is very like it has its priorities wrong, and it's not like we are the first people who are raising this concern, right? Like a lot of serial killer movies do this, and sometimes it's understandable when the character is very interesting. Like the killer himself or herself is very interesting. So you want to know why they're doing what they're doing. It's movie ka wo bhi nahi hai. Movie is like born
Nahin.
evil. The guy was born.
And it's not like he's like evolving or devolving or changing in any manner, right? It's like
No.
one straight line.
It's one straight line. There's no arc. It's like a
Yeah.
shoelace. It's like,
Like I doesn't guy doesn't really change at all. Why am I watching him for 140 minutes?
yeah, it's not like so when he like inserts himself into the investigation, it's not like he learns something new and then he's like one step like to already one step ahead tha without inserting yourself into the investigation. And it's not like the cops also like realize something new with the killer in front of a part of the same team.
Yeah.
And
And even when they realize they don't really like, they just look past it, right? Because like at one point they trace one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and that eventually that thing turns out to be that like, mobile phones were stolen in a police raid. And then they end up with the files of all the police officers involved inside a police station. And I'm like, okay, this is the point where it all unravels. Because
mm,
they will go through every cop one by one and rule them out, right?
mm,
They don't.
they just randomly fixate on one guy
Yeah, they don't go to the others. I'm like, but iska shakal is right there. Just eliminate. Like elimination process, you will find your killer. They just stop at one.
They stop at one, and like for some reason, like I am not really confident enough to tell you what the reason was, because this is
Me
the
neither.
kind of movie where there is so much information where I conveniently tune out for 5 minutes, and then I look back up and I'm like, oh हाँ तो वही हो रहा है ना अभी तक.
Yeah, it's just like another scene of him like finding another woman like and doing the same thing. It's still happening.
Firstly तो मेरे को समझ नहीं आया कि उसका फैमिली है क्या, was there a sister that he's living with?
Uh oh, I don't know. I assumed it was the wife.
No, I think it was a sister.
बच्चे नहीं थे घर में.
तो बहन के बच्चे होंगे, I don't know.
उसका हस्बैंड का है.
I mean, वो भी होगी ना, मतलब like marriageable age but single. I have no
Oh
idea. So the
god,
movie
I
is
don't know,
not in.
man.
So like on one hand, you have those Ryan Murphy things where you're like,
Yeah.
अब ज़्यादा हो गया है, you've I want to see the killer being humanized, but I don't want to see like any sympathy for the killer. Right, that's weird.
Right. Mm.
Right. So that on that side of the spectrum, you don't have to go. But this is like the complete opposite, right? This person is just a blank. Like he's not even a person. He's the Terminator. Even the
Yeah.
Terminator had more of an arc.
And the problematic thing is that it's not the movie doesn't have one of these. They have two of those.
Yeah, the cop is also same.
I'm like, how did you manage to write such a bland character who is supposed to be the vessel that the audience is supposed to invest in as the investigation progresses?
Yeah, like he has no personality, right? Firstly, and
What
he
personality? That P word तो like बोलो भी मत. उसके पहले character क्या है मतलब? Why is he just walking around everywhere with the same expression for like, and he's occupying half the movie. It's not like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mammootty like, is taking up like 98% of the oxygen, so you don't have time to showcase anything. No, you have screen time.
Yeah, yeah, he's like co-lead and everything. Like there are more than one occasion pay the cop dude, someone says some information to him and his reaction is, oh, and the movie cuts to his face with a baffled like, oh. And
I was really thinking at some point I wanted to Google. I was like, has this guy been cast because he's like related to the director? Because there is no way you auditioned for this role.
has he been cast off the street, like someone was like, sir
I
आप
mean,
पिक्चर में आना चाहते हो?
but at least like people who like do that, at least like they have a better eye for people like casting non-professional actors.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Then you have the face, right? You're casting for the face. It's kind of like not
yeah,
particularly memorable also.
face
Like,
or you have the personality, right? Like who the Anora guy and Sean Baker, he does that so many times,
yeah.
but he knows like the people he's bringing on have such a larger than life personality that they don't need to know how to act.
Yeah, or like the softies, like they're
Yeah,
casting non-actors all the time. Um,
but like if you're doing a non-acting thing, if he's not an established actor, then sorry, you have a terrible eye as a director. Please do not ever do it. And if this is a professional actor, then I need to understand what notes we're giving to him.
I'm like so like concerned right now. I hope he's not like popular or something, and someone come murder us के हम non-actor बोल दिया
I,
किसी
I
को.
think we've gotten enough hate comments over the years that there's no like threshold or bar we have not crossed at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. They don't know where we live,
Or now, Rohan.
or if they do, they're not. And if they're as smart as the cop in this movie, they'll probably be looking for us in Assam or something.
They'll be like, ये असम से अरुणाचल प्रदेश जा रहा है हर रोज.
Like what is
And
that?
how is that like useful? I don't
And
understand. Because from like American movies have taught us, right? Like that certain cops don't have jurisdiction and they have to work with other cops who are like not cooperating with you for reasons. So they're like, नहीं ये हमारा case नहीं आपका case है. But यहाँ पे I couldn't figure out because it just feels like Stanley is from the Tamil Nadu cop. Nath is the Kerala cop and they're happily working each other. There's no friction. So what is the point of
there
doing
is
these interstate nonsense?
no, there is one scene where they um, say, right, that we are collaborating, like the two police forces are collaborating, and I mean that's meant to explain why there is no like
But if
pushback.
they're collaborating, then how does it add to the plot? If they don't collaborate, then it adds to the plot, right?
I mean, yeah, I suppose. I mean, it answers the question, ke, how are, but that's the thing, right? Like 10 minutes, like the, what's his name, the main guy, the cop, will go to his
Not.
boss and sit across from his
Hmm.
boss, and
Oh yeah, those scenes are the
he'll give
worst.
like a recap.
I'm like, ये तो literally जो मैंने देखा 15 मिनट में, you're recapping your movie inside the movie now. It's like, how you make those like, if you made this like a TV show, I would understand. You would have like a HBO does a recap before the next because like एक हफ्ता हो चुका है, we will catch you up. But I'm like, नहीं एक हफ्ता नहीं हुआ, I saw this 5 मिनट पहले.
It's yeah, but honestly, like like it was really helpful to me.
Given the
Yeah,
pace of
yeah,
this
because
movie,
I
yeah.
was,
This movie is like built for like second screen syndrome, man. They don't mind if you tune off for like
yeah,
half an
yeah, yeah.
hour.
And then after a point, your brain is like trained also. Okay, अच्छा हाँ अभी वो scene आने वाला होगा ना, where he gives like a summary.
We will recap and he'll also sermonize and shit, He will also like recap the movie in a terms of like philosophy and like the lessons you're supposed to be
Like
drawing
what?
from it. Like the boss says he must be a psychopath. I'm like, I think that was clear from the scenes you just showed me.
Yeah, he's killing people. Like
Guys, we just saw that.
yeah, he's like नहीं नहीं वो उसने 5-6 लोगों को मारा है, but psycho नहीं हो सकता यार. He's like a good.
Yeah, we must tell the
ऐसे
audience this character is a psychopath through a dialogue.
yeah, and he says it as if it's like like a
A
rare occurrence
revelation.
in the हाँ like मतलब
As if the character is 7 years old and it's a thing to call a child. Like how can you call a child a psychopath?
yeah, yeah, like it goes, oh this character हमारा murderer 7 साल का है. तब मैं I would have bought also. अच्छा.
करना ये तो डाल देना like क्योंकि सास भी type like drama sound effects also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, so it's fully like it doesn't make sense, and all of that nonsense that's happening around the movie, like it's kind of taking away from like Mammootty, who is like having real fun also, like
Mm.
doing this, and you can tell that like oh he's made to do like the charming older guy
Mm.
in certain scenes because he has to lure those women and prey
Yeah.
on them, and then he's like really like methodical also, like Kevin Spacey from like Seven or something, and when he's like drawing stuff and like really meticulously carrying out like mundane activities around his killings,
Mm.
and then he's like actually like a killer also, like completely zero like any sort of emotion. So all of that all those layers he's playing very nicely, but like it just is toughened out under so
Yep.
much like stuff, like so much like cut it out. Like why do we need to see 90% of this when
Yeah.
like there is a even when there are moments of like supposed tension, or there were supposed to be like moments of tension, it doesn't come across at
Nope.
all. Like there is either like some poor editing choice, or
Mm.
like the face is not moving of somebody, or you get confused ke, oh my god, like is this woman someone I've seen before, or like sorry but
It's a
I
new,
can't
yeah.
keep up.
I can't give up.
Yeah,
There's
I
too
can't.
many.
And which it's not like the movie is making a point, right? You forget like, oh my god, कितने लोगों को मारा
Yeah.
है, and like the toll is, and it's not like anybody's like really sad also
Mm.
that people are dying. Like there is no sense of, oh my god, the loss is immeasurable. Like families have been destroyed, like ये हो गया, वो हो गया. We don't see the outside world at all. Like, we just see
No,
these
those are
two
just
people.
discussed between the cop and his boss कि guys ये कितना कुछ cases हो गया है and the cop is like हाँ बहुत सारे cases हो गए हैं. I'm like but इसका मैं क्या करूँ?
पहले बोलता है कि मीडिया पे नहीं जाना चाहिए, like
Yeah.
nobody, like don't leak this, and the next scene, the next summary scene,
They're
it's like
like
The
we
Office.
need to broadcast it to both medias of both states.
Yeah, हमने ये कब हुआ? तो what happened for you to suddenly be like,
And then broadcast his conviction in the face of a guy like you're not even sure about.
fully like there
Which
is
came
no
from like
reason.
Stanley. And he's just like, okay, that must be it.
Who is Stanley? Like, investigate. Like, I'm more interested in like how did this guy get away with this for like however many. He's like 60 something, maybe retirement age. Special branch, whatever. Like, what are the other crimes he has done? In his career. Like serial killing to side mein kar raha tha wo. What about other stuff? But yeah, the movie it's not interested in any of that, or interested in the women. It's the only thing it's interested in is like, oh my god, look at this guy solving the crime. Very poorly, might I add.
Yep.
Because the killer is like right next to him literally for half the
Yeah, and he
movie.
has his file literally in his hand once and never investigates. It takes
उसको
him
फोन
like
करके बोलते
4 more
रहता है.
detours before he like ends up on the same conclusion.
Yeah, it's like not even so you would feel embarrassed as a cop if like you have a rat in your team who's like leaking information to
Yeah.
the press, whatever, this, that. What do you do after this? Spending 5 months with a serial killer in your team. What do you do? Where do you go from there? Are you like suspended, fired.
And the movie goes into a direction which I also couldn't comprehend at the end. Like, why does he become so agitated that he like kills him?
Yeah, I mean, if that is meant to be like, I thought it was a mistake almost.
Because like, isn't that like sort of undoing this man's like work? Like he's been told to us as like a straight cop who like does his job. Like no matter what, he will catch the culprit. That's how he set up. Not that I
Yeah.
believe it, but that's how he set up. Sure. And then in the end, for some reason, they were like, "Oh, I think we should end the movie with an action scene." No, why?
Yeah, like the whole movie is supposed to be like this cat and mouse
Yeah.
mind games situation.
Like at that point,
I'm using
I
those
would have been
terms.
more impressed if like, like he opens that page, he sees his own face, cut to like detective room, face to face, do a scene with the two. Because technically you don't have any like evidence, right? Like you're lacking a lot of things. How are you gonna actually
Yeah, it's
convict him?
just it's on the basis of like that auntie's sketch or whatever.
Yeah, so then like you need to like actually like I need to see these characters now. Now that he's been outed, that's a more interesting scene where the cop and the guy sit down to in opposite and like have it out.
Also, like it just might just be me, but when movies do like criminal like sketches and all everything, I'm like, shouldn't like just buy it immediately? Now, like it is after all somebody's interpretation of somebody else's description.
From
Like
possibly
if
like
it
weeks
looks
or months back.
Yeah, and if it looks like somebody you know, that's just your brain doing like
Yeah, connecting dots.
connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like don't you immediately look at Mammootty's face. It like could be someone else.
Mm.
But why do you like immediately suspect your partner? You know, like there has to be like three more levels of investigation before you arrive at that conclusion. Like you have to do more
I mean, in this
to
case, he could
make
probably argue
sure.
that he knew he was a police officer, so that makes slightly more likely it's your person. But then you
Possible,
should have
yeah.
figured it out from the different route, right? When you got those files of the mobile phones, I keep going back to that. I don't know why I'm stressed on that, but not like make a sketch from a random guy and then connect the dots. That's what's bothering me
Also,
more.
I was wondering, like, what happens next? Like, what happens? And this isn't a compliment to the movie that it's making me, wonder, कि, ooh,
Mm.
story में आगे क्या होता है?
Mm.
It's just me being bored and like thinking of other things.
Yeah.
Okay, so you caught a serial killer, and this serial killer, we've been told now the whole South India ka biggest serial killer, whatever hai, and everybody knows about him. Women and children like छुपाओ उनको, protect them, घर पे
Mm.
रखो ये वो. And now you know that the serial killer is like some 60-year-old cop who has like probably 40 years under his belt.
Yeah.
Do you reveal that and admit that 4 decades of superintendents have been stupid? Or do you just be like, हाँ हमने उसको encounter में off कर दिया?
Which is essentially what Nath does, right? Which is bonkers to me. I'm just like, this is not where you were going. Why did you end up in this direction?
Even if you do, then tell us. Na, कि, like, have one more scene with the boss where
Yeah,
they
yeah.
discuss the cover up.
Where they're like, there is no way we can tell the public that there was a cop because they would lose all trust in us like forever.
And heads will roll.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many better, like, Malayalam cop movies out there, and nobody does cop movies as well as the Malayalam filmmakers. And all these issues that I'm seeing in this one, there have been films already, and not too long ago, like year, 2 years ago, that have addressed. Like, there was this movie last year called Rekha Chitram, where again, missing woman, cop goes on an investigation. The investigation ends, he finds the whatever truth, and then the movie continues for 30 more minutes where they tell us the story of the woman. And I thought that was such a interesting way to kind of continue the story. Like most movies would end
Yeah.
when the investigation is finished, but
Which is
then
what
this
this one
movie.
does, right? There's like they find him, he kills him, movie over. I'm like, that's not
Yeah,
closure.
yeah. So, but that movie does it. It takes that 30 minutes and tells us this person lived an entire life and the life was cut short. So there is like an emotional kind of impact that and you're interested in the right things. Let's just put
Yeah.
it as
Yeah,
simple
yeah.
as
यहाँ
that.
पे,
Yeah.
as you said, यहाँ पे there are 3 dozen women who we know nothing about and we are never interested in them because you don't tell us anything.
Yeah, it's just like a very like a poor example of it's like you have one kind of cop movie where like they're beating up 15 people with one punch, and then you have this kind of cop movie where it's like, look how intelligent I am, and I'm like, but they're both equally annoying almost.
Yeah. Essentially, this is a Rohit Shetty movie if Rohit Shetty movie made straight cop movies.
Yeah, without action, right?
Yeah.
Like Rohit Shetty movie without action.
Stupidity तो वही है, उसी level की चल रही है. It's just like it's not trying to be funny.
Stupidity would you? I mean, I would give the point to Rohit Shetty because he's not even pretending to be smart.
Yeah.
He's like, देखो मेरी picture में गाड़ियां उड़ेंगी,
Yeah.
देखने आ जाओ. And but here they're like, look at how nicely we've kind of weaved the story and look at the climax, look at the twist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ठीक है, like it feels like you came up with the climax and the twist first. Wrote the movie around them.
Or you saw your own movie for like 2 hours and you were like, oh my god, this is so boring. Can we end it in a better fashion? Can we end it in a more
I mean,
exciting fashion?
it is based on a real case, like partially, I feel, So I
But
don't,
they have
I
not
don't think the
spent digging into the right parts of the case.
yeah, I don't think like the killer was a cop or anything like that stupid. But like the murdering, the first half is, I think, based on a real person. So yeah.
Oh, well, one to forget and move on.
Yeah. This is conveniently, the one good thing about movies like this is you forget them while they're happening. So
Credit where credit's due.
yeah, so we
That's
can.
all for this episode of The Long Take. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Threads at The Long Take Pod. You can write to us at thelongtakepod@gmail.com. Please leave us a rating and a review where every single episode, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.